This will blow your mind. Millions of people believe chocolate milk comes straight from brown cows, and I'm not joking. Imagine this. You're standing in the dairy aisle of your local grocery store. A little kid tugs on their mom's sleeve, points to the chocolate milk, and says with absolute confidence, "That one comes from the brown cows." Cute, right? But here's the jaw-dropper. According to a survey by the Innovation Center for U.S. Dairy, millions of American adults actually believe the same thing. Not as a joke. Not as a kid's misunderstanding. As a fact. So, how on earth did this idea take root? Before we dig in, let's be clear. Chocolate milk doesn't magically flow from some cocoa-filled cow. It's regular milk, most often from black and white Holsteins, mixed with cocoa and sugar. And yet, for years, this myth has refused to die. Why? Part of the answer is a fascinating mix of cultural history, marketing quirks, and, frankly, the way our brains love shortcuts. Let's rewind a few decades. In the mid-20th century, dairy advertising was booming. Commercials often showed happy brown Jersey cows grazing on lush green fields. These cows were prized for their rich, creamy milk, and in print ads, their warm brown color often sat right next to a tall, cold glass of chocolate milk. Coincidence? Probably not. Now add in the way we, as humans, connect dots without evidence. If a brown cow is pictured beside chocolate milk, our brain happily skips the explanation and files it under obvious truth. But the myth didn't just survive, it evolved. Today, it thrives online, partly because it's just so shareable. Social media loves a fun weird fact, and every time this one gets posted, some people think, maybe it's true? And here's where psychology steps in. Cognitive scientists call this the illusory truth effect. The more often you hear something, even if it's false, the more likely you are to believe it. Now, you might be wondering, okay, but millions? Really? The Innovation Center survey found that about 7% of U.S. adults, that's roughly 16 million people, answered yes when asked if chocolate milk comes from brown cows. To put that in perspective, that's more people than the population of Pennsylvania. And it's not just an American quirk. Versions of this misconception pop up in the UK, Canada, and Australia too. Of course, education plays a big role. In rural areas where people grow up around farms, this myth rarely survives past childhood. But in urban centers, where most folks never see a cow in real life, farm knowledge is surprisingly thin. It's the same reason some kids think pickles are a separate vegetable, or that peanuts grow on trees. Without first-hand experience, we fill the gaps with whatever sounds right, or whatever we've been told. So, why does this matter beyond being a funny fact at parties? Because it's a small but perfect example of how easily misinformation can spread, and how our brains aren't built to fact-check every tiny detail. From brown cows to much bigger global issues, the same mental shortcuts are at work. And if we can laugh at ourselves over chocolate milk, maybe we can also remember to slow down and ask, wait, where did I hear that? By the way, if you found this fascinating, you're exactly the kind of person who will love what's coming next on this channel. We dive into the weird, wonderful, and surprising truths hiding in everyday life, and trust me, you won't look at your grocery cart the same way again. So go ahead, drop a comment if you ever believed the brown cow myth, we won't judge, hit that like button if you learned something new, and subscribe for more stories that make you say, no way, that's real? And remember, the next time you sip chocolate milk, thank the cows. All of them.